Alright, so what we have here today is a Chevy Silverado 2012 Z71 4x4 edition, and we are getting ready to install a 2012 GM hard drive into the vehicle. Okay, so we are in the vehicle, and as you can see, this truck has a basic AM/FM CD /MP3 with the aux input. So you're going to want to start by just removing the big trim bezel that goes all the way around the radio. You'll want to use a soft pry tool, nylon pry tool, or if you've got some strong fingers, you can just kind of grip and pull. There are 3 connectors that do your power outlets, and then your lower controls down here, and then this is your 4-wheel drive selector. So you do want to pay attention, try not to turn the key on with this unplugged, or you will throw a light up in the DIC. So I'll get moving, I'll be back in a minute. Okay, so here we are with the radio and AC controls out. So basically we have the open cavity in behind the radio to work with. Take out radios right there. So next what we're going to focus on, we are going to need to get behind the glove box over there. We're going to need to remove this lower panel right here below the radio. We're going to need to remove this center console access area right here. It's best to also remove the panel right below the steering wheel, the knee bolster panel as well. And then we're also going to need to remove this forward trim panel that runs across the dash. We're actually not going to remove it, we're just going to access the right side of it, which we can do by removing the 2 bolts that lie behind. Okay, as you can see, we got some stuff removed and torn apart. We got the lower knee bolster area panel removed there. Panel right below the radio, which is where the OnStar module sits. We got that center access area removed. I've got the panel up on the windshield, up and out the way, along with this right side A-pillar removed. And then I've got the glove box down and out of the way so we can access the XM tuner that sits in behind there. Okay, so just personal preference, I actually like to start with the higher areas and then just work my way down as part of my install. So right now what I'm going to focus on is running this this GPS antenna, which is going to go right up underneath this cowl panel. I will have pictures. There's an area right in there with a little notch sticking up that it clicks right into. There's pictures on the instructions. I'm also going to pull the camera signal from the rearview mirror harness itself right here, which I'll strip this back and show the areas which I'm talking about tapping into. I'm then going to run the camera wire across the headliner, down the A-pillar, into the dash, and then through into the radio cavity. That's how I go about doing it. Okay, so what we have here is the rearview mirror harness out of the mirror. I tugged it down from the headliner as far as possible, and towards the top of it I stripped the outer jacket off to where I could get to the inside wires. And what we're looking for, you can see some blue aluminum foil. That's what you're going to be looking for. Inside that aluminum foil is a bare just drain wire, and then a white and blue wire. These are the 2 camera wires that we're going to be focusing on. White is your video positive, blue is your video negative. So we're going to need to tap onto these wires and extend it down to the radio cavity, which I'll do now and be back. Okay, so what we've done here, I've got the red wire tapped into the white. It's kind of hard to see from this angle probably. And the black to the blue. I'm basically going to wrap this all up nice and neat, which I'll show you here in a second, and extend these wires across the headliner and down the A-pillar, like I said earlier. Alright, so as you can see, the harness has been taped up nice and neat. There is no wire exposed up here. It's tucked up under the lip of this headliner right up here, and run down the B-pillar. I secure it to the wiring harness going along the side, then down into the dash. You can run it kind of in behind the glove box and over into the dash cavity. Now what I've done is taken and cut off the red RCA plug from our gray VSS plug, and I just hardwired in my red and black straight to the yellow and blue. Yellow would be your video positive, and blue would be your video negative. So you can do that, or you can solder on an RCA end and plug it in that way. Strictly your call. So what's going to be next is we're going to run the VSS wire, this green one, down into the cavity down on the floor, which I'll show you here in a second. We're also going to plug in the voice recognition harness, which is the other little gray plug hanging off, and this is going to go into the OnStar module. So I will be back shortly. Thanks, bye. Okay, so what we've done is run the VCIM harness right here, that other gray harness, with the insulated black cable. There's one spot, one opening on the bottom of your OnStar module, this silver box right here, that will plug into. And then I secured it to the factory harnessing, going up into the dash area, then around the back vent and into the cavity. You can also see that I've got the green wire run through the back cavity, and I'm taking it down into this lower dash area, and we're going to get to the front or the back of this box. I'm doing some new testing right now. I'll show you here in a second the outcome, but the VSS signal wire is going to be at this place right here. Okay, so what we've done here is taken our black wire with the green ends. There's two of these green ends on both sides. We're at the factory XM tuner back here, and this is where the factory antenna was plugged in. I simply unplugged it right here, plugged it into our extension, secured it to the harness. I'm securing it to the brace up the top, all the way over into the cavity, and it comes out the other end. Of course, we'll wrap it up nice and neat, but that needs to come out, and then the only thing that's left is the USB extension, which I'll show you next.